Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Meka from Yes Please Planning. Today I'm going to show you how I transformed this personal size planner into a B6 Traveler's Notebook. This planner came from Michaels. It's their Recollections brand. It actually is a little bit wider than most personal size planners, so it's the perfect size for a B6 Traveler's Notebook. Inside, you can see this is how it turned out. You cannot see any evidence of it ever being an actual ring bound, or I guess you can see some indentations there. But yeah, you can't really tell until you kind of look up close. I'll take out the book so you can see what it looks like. So there it is. There is a slit here where I pulled out the internal mechanisms for the ring, and I just covered it up with some fabric tape. But as you saw, once the books are in, this tape doesn't even show, and this is perfect. Now remember, this was an experimentation. When I started filming, I didn't know how it would turn out. I wanted to try several different tools, not only for myself, but for you, to give you an idea of some different options that you may have if you don't have the same tools that I have. So just keep all that in mind, and let's get going. This is what you see first. There's something, it looks kind of like a screw, but it's actually not. I guess it would be called a rivet. I'm not quite sure, but it's not screwed in there. It's kind of like a tube, a metal tube that sort of gets smashed into place. So that top ring part is attached to a thinner metal piece down under the vinyl. So I'm just trying to give you a look at what's kind of sandwiched in there, just so you can get an idea. The first thing that I'm trying out is a flathead screwdriver. It's really kind of too wide, too thick to go under the metal piece there, but I wanted to just give it a try anyway to see if I could maybe push it over, but that metal piece is just too sturdy. So I kind of figured out quickly that the screwdriver was a no-go. So I'm going to try my power drill. It's not a screw, but I'm thinking that this will, if I just keep turning this on and letting it spin, it will wear down this hardware so that it can pop off. You can see these little metal filings here, so it's definitely working. I am using a pretty wide bit though, so I may need to get a smaller one, but let me just keep trying with this one. There we go. So that was way faster than I saw on the example video. So that probably took a total of 10-15 seconds. So let me try this one. These little filings are pretty sharp, so I'm going to go ahead and vacuum them up right now before they fall all over the place and cut me later. Depending on which video you've seen, you may have seen people cut the stitching, actually rip the seam to pull the mechanism out from the bottom. I am not going to rip the seam because I like the seam. I like the way it looks. So what I am going to do is, I think having a single line down the middle is going to be the least distracting and would hide itself the most once all of the strings are in here, versus one that's going horizontal. So I'm going to try that route. Right now I'm just thinking about this line in the middle. I don't know why, but I really want it to be right in the middle versus along the side, which is the way my ruler is positioned, so I'm going to try to find something smaller to fit in here to help guide me better. Let's see. Okay, this will work. This is the divider that came inside this planner. I think this will be good enough. So now that I have it split, I can see this cardboard, and I was expecting to see that other metal mechanism right here, but maybe it's under this cardboard. So let me dig deeper. I think I'm gonna go with my utility knife, since it's a little less dainty. There we go. I see it. I see it. I feel it. So at this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to need to cut a line up here and here a little bit. I'm going to try my hardest to somehow get this out without doing that. But we'll see. So this is what it looks like inside. This is the flimsy metal mechanism. You know remember those bracelets, those wrist bracelets that you like, it's kind of metal, flexible. They were colorful, and you would smack your wrist and it would curl up immediately around your wrist. That is what this thing reminds me of. So it seems super flexible. Oh yeah, really thin. So let me get now some, I think these are called pliers. Needle nose pliers, maybe? Ooh, look how easy it's coming off. What? That's so easy. All right, that is that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the holes in here for the strings. I'm kind of squeezing this right now just to get an idea of where the center is, and then I am going to mark it with a pencil. So this is about a 1/4 inch down, or maybe 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch down, and I'll do the same on the other side. About a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch down. And then from here I'm going to do, okay, this part I will go ahead and measure. So let me do just a tad bit more than a 1/4 inch. Open that up, and then there. I think that's going to work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put the holes in now. I am not sure exactly what I'm going to do for the holes. I was trying to find my awl, but that disappeared the last time I did. I made a T-end. So I'm going to try to use my eyelet setter. This is I've had this for ages. It's really hard to find now. You can look for a screw punch, and I think there's like leather tools, a screw punch, and it will it'll do the same thing. There's sort of a hydraulic mechanism in here that when you push down really hard, it adds extra force on there to punch holes. I don't know if I want to go from the outside or from the inside. I feel like I will probably get the cleaner hole on the outside, so I'll go for that. I'm gonna double mat this because this thing is pretty powerful. You know what? This hole is way too small. It's like a 1/16 of an inch. I'm gonna change out the tip. I'll definitely link this down below. I know it made a hole of some sort. I'm not sure how deep it went, so I'm going to just keep going down a little bit more just to make sure I got all the way through. I don't think it's going to let me go any deeper because it's got cardboard in here all the way up to the top, so let me clean this out. So you can see I messed up the hole a little bit here from pressing down and kind of shifting a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. I think when the strings are in there, it won't really show. If you don't have a tool like this, you can use something sharp to poke the hole, and then some kind of small something that can get in there and help you just keep burrowing until you kind of get a smooth-ish hole. So as I'm looking at this, where I'm at right now is the hole hasn't gone all the way through. So I'm going to keep using this screw punch eyelet setter thing to try to get all the way through. It may just be that it's too thick, but I'm going to keep trying. Situating it in there in that hole that's already there. Ooh, there it goes. Yeah, so I just had to keep going and going. There's just a lot of little layers for it to punch through, I suppose. So this hole is pretty big. I'm comparing it to the ones that I already have. And this hole here is really small. So I guess I used the tinier one. It seems like it's too small. I think I'd rather it be too small because this just is a glaring hole. If you have eyelets, I suppose you could use those, but this is pretty thick. So most eyelets are going to have a hard time getting through. You'd probably need something that's more like upholstery grade, like bigger, thicker grommets. But I'm going to try the smaller hole and see how I like that. I feel like I tried this before in my other video, but it was so long ago I can't remember what I did. Now the hardest part is lining this up correctly. I'm just going to go for it. So I like this smaller tip better. This is, again, maybe like 1/16 of an inch. I think it's probably going to be a pretty tight fit for the strings. So I'm just going to go in with, I don't even know what this was. I think it was for like dry embossing from way back in those days before embossing and personal die cutting machines. Anyway, you just get whatever round thing you have. So I guess that'll clear. So that is pretty perfect. For the sake of demonstration and curiosity, I'm going to do this on this side with my power drill. I don't know how that's going to work. We will see. The original bit size that I used was 1/4 inch. That was what I used to wear down the grommet rivet nail thingy in here. So this was a 1/4 inch bit to like file it away, and I'm gonna switch it now to what I think is a 1/16 inch bit. I'm not going too fast because I'm checking to see that it doesn't go all the way through my surface. Okay. So it just broke through the surface. Now I'm going to just let it spin a few more times to try to clean out. So that is what that looks like compared to that. Definitely not impressed. Let me try some more. I'm just kind of going in and out to try to clean up this hole. There you go. That's not too bad. Maybe it'll be okay once the holes are in there. I can see if I have a larger bit. Yes, this is my bit bag. Hey, it works. This one is a little bigger. I'm gonna try this one. This looks like it's probably 1/8. So I'm just forcing it in there. I don't even have it turned on. Okay, now that it's in there, I'm gonna press, see if I can do it this way so you can see what's happening. Good enough anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more holes for the sides. You know what? So right now it's looking, I don't like the way that it's looking. Oops, and it's crooked too. I'm gonna go back to the 1/16 bit and make small holes and then go up from there instead of starting with the larger one. I don't know if that's gonna make a difference, but I feel like, let me just keep with this one and see how it goes for this one. In the spirit of exploration. Ooh, look at that. That's awful. I'm gonna pretend I don't care. Let me see what happens when I poke this thing. I'm just using this thing just to kind of smooth out that circle. I mean, it doesn't really make it permanently smooth, but it looks a little bit better. So this time I'm just gonna stay on the mat and see if that helps me just go straight up and down instead of curving or tilting, you know, too far up and down. Anyway, that gives you an idea of what will happen if you use a drill to get the holes in. So if you don't have a drill and you don't have an awl and you don't have a screw punch, then you just need to go get yourself some tools. basically. I can't solve all your problems. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the inside. It's a bit ratty. Luckily, this is just my practice one, so I can try again with another one. Those holes, I suppose if I use a template, I'll go ahead and make a little paper template or something. That would maybe help, but I don't know. Maybe once all the strings and everything are in there, it won't even make a difference. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and string all the holes. String the you know what I mean. This is 34 inches. It could go a little less, but I'd say keep with 34 to play it safe and snip off what you don't need. Now to do these holes, here are some options. This is a very thick needle, so steel needlepoint yarn needles in the yarn section, and like yarn and crochet section. I guess this is Hobby Lobby. This looks like Hobby Lobby. So I'm gonna try to use this. Another thing that you can use is just like wire. This is like picture hanging wire, but maybe craft wire if you have a thin enough gauge. So you could use that and sort of fashion a needle, sticking the string in there and then kind of twisting that around it. I don't know if that makes sense. Makes sense in my head. So that's something you could do. Now to string it, I don't know if it'll string easily, but this is a pretty wide eye here. Oh, yay. Okay. Here we go. This larger hole definitely makes it easier for the strings to go through, but it's not attractive. I don't like the bigger hole as much, personally. Just my opinion. Preference. Go out over here. Okay, now it's tight. Yeah, because this hole was a smaller one and it's trying to get all these bits through, but I'm going to pull at it. There we go. So, not perfect, but hey, DIY works for me. And then you just tie this. I'm not going to tie it because I want to go ahead. I think I might pull it back out. No, I'm going to go ahead and find the glue. This one is just a practice one. I'm just going to stick some washi tape on here real quick. Washi tape solves all problems. Let me see what happens. So yeah, if you didn't have glue or didn't feel like putting the glue on and you're not worried about seeing this, you probably won't really see it because your books and stuff will be in there. You could, in theory, leave it like that. You'll probably hardly ever notice it. But I'm going to just go ahead and find some glue if I can. I think the only thing that's really going to work for this is super glue. I tried to find my E6000 or whatever it's called. Couldn't find it, but what I'm going to do is try out a couple of different options that I did find. I found hot glue, so that's warming up right now. Good old trusty Aleene's tacky glue. And I came across this gem tack embellishing glue. Supposedly it's able to glue rhinestones, pearls, and sequins. So if that's the case, maybe it would also be strong enough for this. It's just the cardboard being glued. You won't be able to see that in there. Cardboard gluing to cardboard, and then this vinyl fabric here gluing to this cardboard. So it really may not be that much for it to handle. I'm going to start with the hot glue. And I'm putting quite a generous amount in here. Since that first part was cardboard being glued to cardboard, it was okay to put a lot and to not really look at how clean it was, because it's not going to show. You're not going to be able to feel through it. But for this step, I'm a little hesitant because when you know, the hot glue, I feel like you would be able to feel the texture of the hot glue all the way through that lump once it cools. But I guess it won't really matter because that's going to be where the strings are. Let me just try out a little bit. Ooh, you almost got me. I'll try to do it, smooth it out a little bit if I can. Ooh, hot, hot. Okay, that just might be the trick. Hot glue for the win. We'll see. You know how hot glue lifts up as soon as it cools off. So I'm immediately smoothing it out while it's still hot, so there's no texture. And I'll go ahead and do the same to this side. So I'll glue the two cardboard pieces. Oh, I guess I already glued those, but look at that. It came up already that fast. I'm just try it again. A lot of hot glue in there. Press it down. Try not to get it on my hands. And then glue the vinyl. I feel like it should have maybe, I'm not going to worry about it. I was hoping that it would glue closed, but I feel like I saw a video where somebody glued it with super glue and the seam came together to where, or the cut came together after it was glued, so you couldn't even tell it was there. This, obviously, you can still tell it's here, but it's not sticking up, at least not yet. Let me go ahead and try those strings again. So using this yarn needle, oh, it says, I just noticed this, it says size 13 needle point yarn needle. It's got a pretty wide, and it's not flexible, it's hard. I think I've seen some flexible ones, and those seem like they would be a good option too. Let's go through the middle to the side. Now, how tight your bands are, that is totally up to you. Some people like them really tight. I don't, because I don't want them to like pull on the papers, the insert spine. So just not too much slack, but also not pulled super tight. I tend not to cut my bands. That generally doesn't bother me. I'll cut it if it's flopping around, sticking out and bothering me, but usually it's kind of hidden in there, so it doesn't bother me. And I'll just leave it there so that I can undo it and tighten it a little bit more when I need to. So let's go ahead and put some books in here. My inserts, I showed some of them being made in my B6 setup series. I will link that down below. So these two were part of the B6 setup series, and honestly I haven't used them very much because I just haven't been using a B6. And this daily insert I made myself. I want to revise it though. So that's it. 4 notebooks works. There's plenty of space if I were to do some jump bands. I don't tend to like those too much. You guys, we did it. Look at that. I am proud of that right there. And now let's see about that. Look, you don't even see that slit. Am I yelling? Okay, I'm yelling. You don't even see the slit down there, down the middle. I'm glad I did that instead of doing the horizontal slit. Look at that. You don't even notice it. Ah, it's done. It's perfect. That is it, friends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you try it out. If you do, definitely tag me on Instagram or leave a comment here and let me know you tried it out. I love to see when you guys put something that you learned from me in action. And if you have a few more minutes, stop, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, and don't forget to come and say hi on Instagram at Yes Please Planning. Bye-bye.